Hello everyone. In this video lecture, we'll look into the memory map of the Cortex M3 processor. The Cortex M3 has got a predefined memory map. That is, each of the regions in memory are defined in advance. Okay, so this allows the built-in peripherals such as the interrupt controller or the debug components or any other peripheral device for that matter to be accessed by simple memory access instructions. Okay, and the bus structure of the Cortex M3 is also optimized for this memory usage. The main advantage of having a predefined memory map is, that is, by having fixed addresses for the peripheral devices, is we can port the application, the same application program that we have written in one product can be ported between different Cortex M3 products much more easily. From the architecture of Cortex M3, we know that the address bus of Cortex M3 is 32 bits, and from this we learn that it can address up to maximum 2 power 32 memory locations. That means 2 power 32 turns out to be 4 GB, 2 power 30 is 1 GB, 31 is 2 GB, and 2 power 32 will be 4 GB. So the memory size of Cortex M3 is maximum 4 GB. Now, as we know that Cortex M3 has got a predefined memory map, we can have it is divided into on-chip memory and off-chip memory. So on-chip memory means the chip containing on the same board as the microcontroller, and off-chip memory means the memory chip is outside the board as of the microcontroller. So on-chip memory can be consisting of code region, data region, and IO region with the total of 1.5 GB allocated for this purpose. That means 0.5 GB is allocated for each of these regions. And the off-chip memory is divided for each off-chip data and off-chip devices. That is, the regions in the off-chip memory is external RAM and external memory space for external devices and memory space for system level peripherals. Okay, so we'll see the memory map memory regions, the addresses allocated for each region in this video. So you can see here 32 bits, the address range of Cortex M3 memory is say it is 32 bits, address bus is 32 bit. So it starts from all 32 zeros to all 32 bits as ones, a maximum value. Okay, so this 32 bits will be written as 8 digits. When you convert these 32 bits into hex, it comes out 8 digits because each digit corresponds to 4 binary bits. So I can have the memory region, memory address starting from 0, 8 zeros, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. All 32 bit zeros means it will be 8 zeros in hex. To all ones, all 32 bits are ones means it will correspond to 8F. 8F. Okay, so this is the address range. So here you can see it starts from 0x00000000 to 0xFFFFFFFF. So this is 4 GB. So the first region of the memory is pertaining to code memory. So code memory starts from 0x00000000 to 10x1FFFFFFF. Okay. So as I mentioned, the code is 0.5 GB. So you can see here, before I go to the addresses, I'll just work out here. As I've told you, 2 power 32 is 4 GB. 2 power 31 will be 2 GB. Okay. So if you see here, this is 32 bits starting from 2 power 0 to the last bit will be 2 power 31. Okay, that makes up 32 bits. So if I have to see how much is 2 power 31 bits, so here the first 8 digits, the starting from the lower significant digit to the one but most significant digit, the 7 bits come to be bit number 0 to bit number 27, and the last digit, hex digit, corresponds to bit number 28, 29, 30 and 31. So if I have to write that, the the maximum value that I can have with the 31, or how to represent 2 GB, so we'll just write that. So it will be 7, because all these will be ones, and in the last digit, that is 4 digits, the last bit 2 power 31 bit will be 0 only, and the remaining 3 bits will be 1. Do you get this? So this I have written in hex. This will be 2 power 29 20 30 sorry 2 power 28, 29, 30 and 31. So 2 power 31 means this bit is gone, only these bits come to be 31. The whole thing was 32 as we have seen. So all ones means it will be 7 FFFF FFF. Okay. Likewise, 2 power 30 is 1 GB. Okay. So that means only 30 bits. So the bit number 32 and bit number 31 and bit number 30 will be 0, and only the bit number 28 and 29 will be 1, and all other 7 digits will be F. Okay. So this comes to be 3 FFFF. So this is 1 GB, and 2 power 29, as we have seen here, is 1 GB. So this comes to be, in this 1 GB means 2 power 29. So only bit 29 bits should be there. So the last 3 most significant 3 bits will be zeros, and this is 1, and remaining all FFFF. Okay. So it comes to be 1 FFFF FFFF. So that is why, as you see here, the code region ranges from 000000000 to 0x1 FFFF, 7 Fs. Okay. So here it is shown as 0x2 0000000. That is the next location, that is start of the next region. Okay. So the code region consists of the on-chip flash for code and data. It is not that you cannot store data in the code region. It is possible, but it is always advisable to place the data in the separate data region, so that simultaneously 2 buses can be used for data fetching and instruction fetching, in order to not disturb the pipeline. Next region in the memory space is the SRAM, that is the on-chip RAM, to hold the data. So this will range from 2000000 to 3 FFFF. Why it is 3 FFF? We know that 0.5 GB is will corresponds to 1 FFF, 7 Fs, right? FFFF, FFFF, FFF. So 2 7 zeros plus 1 FFF will correspond to 3 FFFF. Okay. The last region in the on-chip data is for the peripheral devices. So again 0.5 GB allocated for this purpose. So it ranges from 0x40000000 to 5 FFFF. So 4 7 zeros plus 1 FFF, 7 Fs corresponds to 5 FFF. So this is for peripheral regions. So we know that the Cortex M3 can be interfaced with the various peripherals like the timers or the GPIOs that we have seen. Even these external peripherals can be accessed just like any memory access by having this predefined memory map. So here you have different external buses, that is AHB and APB. AHB stands for Advanced High Performance Bus and APB stands for Advanced Peripheral Bus. So both these AHB and APB are a part of the AMBA. AMBA is the ARM Advanced Microcontroller Bus Architecture. So this is the protocol that is used for communication interface inside in the microcontroller. So this AHB or the Advanced High Performance Bus is used to access the memory region, data memory region, where the RAM and the peripherals and some external devices are located. And APB is used to access the external devices as a connected to this bus, and is also used to access to the part of the system level region which is not accessed through the system bus. That we'll see the system level region consists of the debugging units or the interrupt controllers and all. So while programming the Cortex M3, we have to look at the data manual, reference data sheet of the processor, and understand which are the peripherals that are connected to the AHB bus and which are the peripherals connected to the APB bus, and accordingly you have to set the registers in order to program the microcontroller. Okay. Coming to the off-chip memory space. So for the first set region of for off-chip memory is the external RAM, that is to store off-chip data. Okay. So this for off-chip memory, each region is allocated 1 GB. So as we have seen earlier, 1 GB corresponds to 3 in hex, 3 7 Fs, FFFF, right? So here as you see the external RAM will start from 0x60000000 to plus 3 GB, 60000000 plus 3 FFFF will come to be 9 FFFF. So that is why this region will range from 6 7 followed by 7 zeros to 9 followed by 7 Fs. The next region in the off-chip memory is for the external device. The region for external device ranges from 0xa00000000 to 0xDFFFFFF. That means as I've told you, this region is 1 GB, is of size 1 GB. So starting address is A followed by 7 zeros to plus 3 FFFF comes to be A plus 3 is D, F, 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 F. Okay. So this is the external region for external device. So the last region in the off-chip memory is for the system level components. So that is 0.5 GB. It will start from E followed by 7 zeros plus 1 followed by 7 Fs, that corresponds to 0x FFFF FFFF. Okay. So this is consisting of the memory space required for the nested vector interrupt controller or the system timer or other device, other peripherals which are usually vendor specific. Okay. This is the memory map of the Cortex M3. As you know, the memory of the Cortex M3 is divided into predefined regions, and each region has got a specific characteristics. And it is basically divided into on-chip memory and off-chip memory. So on-chip memory comprises of regions for code, data, that's the SRAM, and memory space for the peripherals with the address ranges given here. And the off-chip memory comprises of external RAM, external devices, that is peripherals, and the last 0.5 GB is for inbuilt system level components. In the code region, you can see that the initial first few locations of memory will be allocated for the vector table. So as you know, the vector table consists of the addresses of the interrupt service routines of the different interrupts. So the interrupts in Cortex M3 are numbered and also they are prioritized. That is, as per the priority levels, each interrupt is given a priority, and as per the priority levels, they are arranged in the vector table. And this is a sample of a vector table wherein always the first location of memory, that is 00000000, will always contain the initial value of the main stack pointer. So the address of the top of the stack is always stored here. That is nothing but the content of the main stack pointer. And after that, this is required because in any case, if the interrupt occurs before the main program occurs, then it should be knowing where the stack is. Okay. So the topmost interrupt with the topmost priority is the reset vector. So the reset vector, the interrupt service routine of the reset vector will be stored in memory location 00000004. This is because in memory location 0, the main stack pointer is stored. The main stack pointer is 32 bits, and hence the next available location is 4. So the interrupt service routine address, not the interrupt service routine, but the address of the interrupt service routine will be stored in memory location 4. So next exception is the NMI, that is a non-maskable interrupt. The starting address of the NMI handler will be stored in the next available location, that is 4 plus 4, that is 8. Likewise, it goes on. So the vector table will be the first constituent of memory in the code region. So in this video, we are about to discuss the reset sequence. Reset sequence means what happens when a reset occurs, when the processor is reset. So we have just seen that the first memory location, that is with address 0, memory location with address 0 will be containing the main stack pointer, address of the top of the stack. Okay. So first, what happens when the reset occurs, that is after reset, the PC will be loaded with the address 00000000. So now here you can see that PC, the memory location 0000 consists of 20008000. So this is the value of the main stack pointer. That means this is the memory location of the top of the stack. This is the address of the top of the stack. So if you have the stack like this, the stack will be filled till here, okay, and the main stack pointer will be pointing to the top of the stack, and this happens to be 20008000. Okay, so the processor reads the value from this location 0 into the MSP. So since always it is holding the value of the MSP, that value will be loaded into the MSP when an reset occurs. So who puts this valid address in this location 0? So it is basically taken care by the startup code of the microcontroller. So next what happens? So the next memory location, as I have told you, the next available memory location will be 4. So main stack pointer will be occupying 32 bits, that is 4 memory locations. So the next address will be 4, which is now having 20001000. So this is actually the interrupt service routine of the reset handler. So the handler exception with the highest priority is the reset exception. So in location 4, the value of the address of the interrupt service routine for the reset exception will be stored. So this is 2000 1000. So this will be loaded into the PC, because the next thing that the processor has to execute on reset is the reset handler. So the address of the interrupt service routine of the reset handler, reset exception is this. So PC should always hold the address of the next instruction to be executed. So hence the PC will be loaded with this 20001000. So the first instruction, so then it jumps to the reset handler and starts executing the instruction. So the first instruction will be executed, and so on. The execution goes on. So reset handler is nothing but a normal function written in assembly or C language, which we want to call, or which we want to execute when the processor resets. So what do we want it to do when the processor resets? We want the microcontroller to do some specific initialization tasks, such as the configuring the clocks, or configuring the hardware blocks, or initializing the stack space. So stack space is to be initialized before calling the main function of the source code. So these are all the basic functionalities which is to be executed before the main function. So after the reset handler is executed, it will resume the main program.
Thank you.